What's up everybody, this is Steve Strelacci and today we are working in the HX Stomp XL. So if you've been on my channel before, you've definitely seen my command center videos for the Helix and the HX Stomp. And today we are going to do the Stomp XL. I just got my Stomp XL a little while ago and I'm enjoying using it. It's got some quirks that I'm frustrated with. Me personally, right off the bat, I can't stand that the two buttons on the far left, the bank up and down, I can't stand that I can't use those as a function on the board. If you have an HX Stomp XL, then you know that those two left banks can only be used for toggling up and down between presets, and in my opinion, it's a useless utility when I'm trying to maximize the space on my floorboard. So what I'm going to show you today is how to use Command Center to completely customize all 6 of those foot switches and make your layout exactly what you want it to be. So as an example, I have this preset that I pulled up. I kind of just threw this together. I picked an IR because the dual cabs ate up too much DSP for this particular preset. I've got my delay and reverb in a parallel path. I've got my volume block as a little bit of a solo boost. Again, DSP limitation, so I wanted to just give it a solo boost there instead of using EQ or something. And then I got regular amp settings, everything being controlled by snapshots, and a couple of drive pedals. If you look at my floorboard right now, you'll see that I have the 4 snapshots laid out, and then I have 2, I guess what I'm going to call function buttons, where I can do whatever I want with those. I can make them bypass pedals, I can make them change parameters, things that don't cross with the snapshots though. That's one caveat of this, is that those can't cross snapshots, but if you're just looking to bypass something like a solo boost and change your delay mix or something like that, really easy to do. So I'm going to copy this over into a fresh preset. I'm going to right click, I'm going to get that command there. I'm going to clear all. I'm going to hit yes. And if you're going to do this with one of your existing presets, make sure you save a copy so that you don't lose everything. All right, so I just cleared out all of my foot switches, and now I have a completely blank floorboard. So the first thing you got to do is you hit mode. When you hit mode, it'll switch you between your preset view and your pedal board view. We want to be working out of pedal board view, so you'll see all 6 blocks are blank. Wow, all 6 blocks are blank. Yeah, all 6 blocks are blank. Try saying that 10 times fast. So the first thing I want to do is I want to assign my 3 snapshots. You could do whatever you want with this. This is literally up to you, fully customizable. If you want to follow along with me, I'll post this on Custom Tone. And yeah, download the 2 presets and follow along with me. So first, we got Window, Command Center. And now you have a full page of your commands. This is all things that you can tell your Helix or HX to do, if you want to think of it that way. It's where you give it commands. So I'm going to start with this top left, which was a bank switch, and I'm going to change this into something that I can actually use. So I'm going to make this HX snapshot. I want my behavior to be press release. Press means what happens when you press it. So when I press it, I want it to go to snapshot 1. When I release, I want nothing to happen. So once I press it down, I go right to snapshot 1. And then foot switch 2, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to go to HX snapshot, behaviors, press release. Make that snapshot 2. Same story here. And I'm going to make this snapshot 4. So now I have all 4 of my snapshots laid out, and now those bottom 2 are up for grabs. So if I want to go in here and I want to change some of my amp settings, so I've got my snapshots changing all of my parameters here, yada, yada, yada. And then for those other 2 foot switches, now I have foot switch 5 and 6 available to me to do something. I'm going to make that my solo boost sound. So I have this set up to be 4 levels of, well, 4 different things. I have a low gain, and then I have a low gain with like an ambient vibe. And then I have a more crunchy, and then an even more, I don't want to call it high gain, but higher gain. And they're all relatively the same volume. So I am going to take this gain block. I'm going to make this, you know, what, plus 3 or so. 2.8, whatever. And I wanted to go bypass assignment, and I'm going to make this foot switch 5. And now if you look at your board, you'll see foot switch 5 now controls the bypass state of this volume block, which is going to be a solo boost sound for this setup. And now for this heir apparent, I was using this as kind of a low gain crunch setting, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to bypass assignment, and I'm going to change it to 6. And now I have foot switch 6 controlling the bypass state of that. And you could do anything with this. So let's say for some reason I'm going to clear that bypass assignment. Say I don't want to bypass this, you just want to change a parameter. You can also do that here. So if I want to make this 0 again, I can now use a parameter control via foot switch. So I just right click that. I'm going to go to foot switch 5, and now you see it turns into those brackets. That's going to tell me that this is now under the control of a foot switch. And now I go over here to my bypass and controller assignment. And what do I want this to do? I want this to control my gain. And then I want my minimum to be 0. If I can click it. And I want my max to be 3. So now when I press this, it's going to toggle between 0 and 3 dB. And you can do that for whatever parameter you want. If you want to do a mix control on your reverbs, you want to do a gain on your amp, you want to just goose the gain a little bit, really whatever you want it to be. And you're not limited in Command Center. So even if, say, you wanted to only use 3 snapshots on the top row and you want this to change to a preset, you have all these options here for things that you could change it to. You can go right to your looper, or you can change it to a preset. So if I want to make this go to a preset, for simplicity's sake, you could pick any preset you want here. You know, you have all 32D worth to choose from, but I'm just going to say next because I copy and pasted the preset, so I'm going to make this go to the next preset. And literally that's all you need to do for that. Now you can look and you see that bottom left switch has now become a preset bank up. So I'm going to tap that and it takes me to that other preset that I saved. All right, so let's clear this out and let's show you how to do this actually on the unit instead of having to rely on HXEdit. All right, so now we're going to do this on the unit itself. We have the XL Command Center preset, and this is what pops up when you first pull up the preset. These are the 2 bank arrows that drive me nuts that they don't do anything. We want to stay on the same preset. So now these are presets. I tap these 2. I get to my snapshot view. So I can choose my snapshots there. But what I want to focus on is hitting this mode button. And then you get to your blank pedal board. Yeah, look at that jittering on the camera. It doesn't actually look like that. That's only on the camera. So now I want to have access to all 6 of these buttons instead of just being limited to these 4. So let's start off with getting to Command Center. You tap these 2 buttons at the same time. And then that brings you to this menu. You're going to hit Command Center. And now you have your foot switches just like you did in HXEdit. Everything's laid out right in front of you here. And now for your command, if you remember from before, we're going to scroll until we get to HX Snapshot. We want press release. And on press, we want this to take us to Snapshot 1. Real easy. I guess eventually we'll get a customize function. And then we want to go to foot switch 2. So I'm just using this top encoder to navigate to foot switch 2. Same thing. Turn this until we get to snapshot, press release. On press, we want to go to snap 2. And we are going to repeat this for the rest. And now I have my 4 snapshots laid out in this fashion, which is more similar to the Helix, like something that I'm used to working with. And now I have these 2, which are these 2 buttons, free to do whatever I want with. Again, you guys can do anything you want to these. Typically, you should know how to do this stuff by now, I would think, but I'm going to make this controller foot switch 5, I want it to control the gain. And then here, oh boy, this is going to take a minute to scroll. Of course, it starts at -120. So again, what I'm doing here is I'm just setting up my minimum and maximum values. Just giving you a different look if you want to do a parameter change instead of just a bypass. So this now is going to change that gain level to go from 0 to +3 dB. So you can do it that way. You can go to your controller assignment. Let's say that never happened. Say you just want to assign this to be bypassed. You are just going to light press the side, assign it to there, and now you can bypass it. Just set it to -3. Again, I'm just using the gain block as a random example. You could use whatever you want, any parameter, any block bypass, whatever you want to do. And you can do more than one thing at a time with this. Say when this goes on, I also wanted to turn my delay on. All I'm doing is side pressing there. And say I wanted to hit the searchlights on. Now this one foot switch can control all 3 of those. And again, all I'm doing is that light press, stuff that you guys should know by now, I would think. And again, just for fun, let's say foot switch A. I want to just toggle my air apparent on and off. And that's right there. Let's go even a step further. Say we want to, while this is bypassed, and then we turn all those on. Let's say we want this gain to also be controlled by foot switch 6. So I just held that down, set the controller to FS6. I want my min value to be 5.5 where it was. And say my max value I want it to be 7. So I want this to give me a little bit of a goose on gain too. So now you'll see all of the effects are bypassing on and off, and I'm also controlling the parameter. So you're kind of getting a faux snapshot out of this. And again, this is something you should customize and do whatever you want with, because this is definitely an individual need. And yeah, now you have a really useful, flexible way of approaching your Stomp XL. If you want to do this as an all-in-one rig and you want to maximize your flexibility, this is the way to do it. If you made it this far, thank you guys so much for watching. Really appreciate it. Again, download these presets on Custom Tone, or you can just follow along with your own preset. It's really simple to use. Apply it to your own. Let me know how you guys are using it. Let me know if you have any questions on it. And I appreciate you guys checking it out and watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.